Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eleni Vnatsiou. I'm an IVF coordinator at EmBio Medical Center in Athens, in Greece. And today we're going to do an online presentation meeting that allows to understand better the IVF procedure for women who are over 49 years old. Remember, the event is recorded. It is all anonymous, and the recorded will be available the next day on our platform, My IVF Answers and YouTube channel. We will start with a presentation of our topic, and after that, we'll follow your questions you may have. You can type the question in the chat section, and I will address them. Let's start our presentation. Challenges make it impossible to use your own eggs, mostly the women that are over 49, 48 years old. The EmBio's donor egg IVF program offers the solution. With proven success rate, a journey to parenthood right away, enjoying the unique experience of pregnancy and the joy of carrying your baby. The most important is that at EmBio, there are no waiting lists. That means that you can start the treatment immediately, if you wish that. Our clinic offers access to one of the largest and most carefully screened donor databases in Greece, ensuring a fast and stress-free process. Let's see step by step the whole process for donor egg IVF at EmBio Medical Center. First of all, step one. Your journey begins with a consultation with Dr. Paraschos or with our IVF experts. Dr. Paraschos, leading fertility specialist and medical director of EmBio Medical Center. During this consultation, you will discuss your questions, expectations, and family goals. Receive a full evaluation and a personalized treatment plan. And of course, you've got the alternatives to choose between a video call, phone consultation on WhatsApp, or in-person meeting with Dr. Paraschos in our clinic. All completely confidential and discreet. Step two, each of you has his own IVF coordinator, your personal guide. Your dedicated IVF coordinator will accompany you through every step of the process. That means that when you contact with your coordinator, he will inform you, always according to Dr. Paraschos' instructions, about the preliminary tests before, of course, starting your treatment. For example, serological blood tests, screening tests, genetical blood tests, for example, karyotype, fibrosis cystic, etc., which can be completed in your home country before your embryo transfer in Athens. That means that you've got the possibility to start to do all the preliminary tests in your country, start the whole treatment in your country according to our instructions always, and you have to come in Greece, traveling once, and stay approximately 2 up 6 days. Your IVF coordinator will explain every detail of your treatment plan. For example, he will send you your prescription for all the medication that you need during the whole process, the protocol that you have to follow, always according to Dr. Paraschos' instructions. He will inform you about costs, payment options, and you pay only for the services you use with no. Very important. To Athens, which requires just one visit. As I told you before, lasting 2 to 7 days. You can enjoy your stay in beautiful Athens and return home expecting your baby, probably. Step 3, selecting your egg donor. In that case, before you start the treatment, you can send us your photo. You can write us the characteristics of the donor, for example, color of hair, color of eyes, skin, height, etc. And according to these characteristics, Dr. Paraschos will choose, we do the matching, so try the donor looks like the recipient. Choose from Greece's largest pool of rigorously screened egg donors. That means that our donors, they are be checked for everything. For example, before starting their treatment, they do all the necessary tests, serological blood tests, fertility tests, screening tests, psychological tests. So we are talking about healthy young women without fertility problems, of course. Our donors are European, Caucasian donors, mostly Greek. Greek law, according to Greek law, all our donors are anonymous, and the same the couple that receives the oocytes. According to Greek law, all the women that, all the recipient, they are up to the age of 54 years old, not completed. That means that the age limit is up to 54 years old, not completed. Now, the donor egg IVF procedure. Step 4. First of all, as I explained to you before, the success rate is approximately 70-78%. For example, a first attempt is approximately 70%, second attempt approximately 73%, and third attempt approximately 78%. About our donor, the egg donor takes fertility medication to stimulate her ovaries and produce multiple eggs. That we synchronize our donor with the recipient. We use fresh oocytes. This is very important. Hormone therapy synchronizes the recipient cycle with the donors and prepares regarding about the recipient the thickness of endometrium. That means that when the donor does her stimulation, at the same time, the recipient does her treatment to prepare the thickness of endometrium. Egg retrieval. The donor's mature eggs are collected from the ovaries shortly before ovulation. The day that we collect the oocytes of the donor, at the same day, the male partner or sperm donor provides a semen sample. The healthiest, most motile sperm is selected for fertilization. In a few words, when we do the egg retrieval, at the same day, we do the semen collection and the fertilization, of course. About fertilization, each egg is fertilized in the lab using ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. This is a procedure where one sperm is injected directly into its egg to maximize success. After that, we perform the embryo transfer. Fertilized eggs develop into embryos on a second or third day, or at fifth or sixth day. These called blastocysts. The best quality embryos are transferred into the recipient's uterus. According to Greek law, we can transfer every time up to 2 embryos. Cryopreservation. Except the embryos that they are permitted to transfer in the uterus of our patient, any remaining high-quality embryos are frozen and safely stored in liquid nitrogen for future use. That means that except the embryos that we're going to transfer, if there are remaining any other embryos adequate to freeze them, of course, you can do that without being obligatory. Step 5. Approximately 12 days after the embryo transfer, a blood test of BHCG confirms pregnancy. That means that when you will finish your embryo transfer, you can return back in your country normally without fear. For example, some patients asks if there any dangers, any risk traveling by plane, by car, etc. No, there is no risk. You can travel normally, and traveling doesn't affect the embryo transfer or the embryos. That means that you can return back in your country on the same day of the embryo transfer or next day without problems. Your EmBio IVF coordinator stays in touch to monitor your progress and provide guidance throughout your pregnancy. That means that when you return back in your country, if, for example, you have a positive result, we inform you about how to proceed with the medication that you already take. And of course, always, if it is okay, with your gynecologist, because when you return back, if you remain pregnant, responsible is the gynecologist that follows up the pregnancy without distance. So we cannot be asked, okay, except if you want to come here and Dr. Paraschos follows your pregnancy. This is the whole procedure. We try to make it easy, okay? So if you have any questions, there is one question, Mrs. Sarah. What if the child wants to meet their biological donor as an adult? Is that possible? No, because as I told you before, egg donors, according to Greek law, are anonymous. That means that your child cannot meet her as an adult, as a baby, and also you cannot know her personal data, and vice versa. Other questions? Of course, even though you use donor oocytes, according to law, biological mother is the mother that conceived the baby. Okay. And about the egg donation treatment, a frequent question is if the baby has got my DNA. The baby has got the DNA of the donor and the DNA of the partner or the husband. Another question. Can a single woman use this service? Of course, it's legal in Greece. And also for the couples of the same sex, it's legal. Yes, of course. The procedure about certificates that we need in Greece, if, for example, you are a married couple, we ask only a copy of the certificate of the marriage. If you are single, or if you are a couple that you're not married, it's obligatory to do the notary act. That means that a notary comes in our clinic And for the couples that they are not married, they sign a notary act where they accept that we use donor oocytes with the semen of the partner, so the partner recognizes the child. And for the single woman, it's the same procedure. They do the notary act. That means that they accept that we use donor oocytes and donor semen. Another question, is it possible occasionally an over 49 can get pregnant with own eggs? Recently, true stories of a lady who got pregnant at 49 months naturally, wasn't donor eggs. It's possible, but if we want to be honest, the success rate is too low. It's max 5%. It's too difficult because what is the problem? Except the low reserve ovaries, ovarian reserve that they've got these women, the problem is the quality of the oocytes at that age. Because generally after 44, 45 years old, the quality of our oocytes, it's not the same. And this is the biggest problem. Embryo donation available, of course. A difference between egg donation and embryo donation, something that we confuse very often. Egg donation is the treatment that refers to the use only of the donor oocytes. That means that there is a male partner or husband or partner. This is the egg donation treatment. The embryo donation treatment means that we use donor oocytes and donor semen. This is the difference. And of course, is available in EmBio Medical Center, and it's legal in Greece. Another information that I can give you is that in Greece, it's permitted to transfer, I think that I told you that before, up to 2 embryos. This is important because transferring 2 embryos, the success rate is too high, is approximately 78%. If you've got other questions. Generally, the whole procedure is very easy to perform it. If, in a few words, first of all, you can contact our clinic. In the second place, we do the consultation or on WhatsApp or in our clinic, whatever you wish. We try to use also WhatsApp, Zoom, etc., because we can understand the expenses traveling abroad. So you can do first the consultation, you can do all the preliminary tests in your country, the whole treatment in your country, always according to our instructions. You mustn't do something by yourself. This is important. And after that, when you will be ready, you can come here and stay only approximately 5-6 days. Travel once. This is very important. Now, another question. What was your clinic success rate for over 50 years women pregnancies last year? It's approximately 60-70%. It's too high. The difference for the women that they are between 50 and 54 years old, not completed, I repeat, is that for these women, as a first step, we have to do the request to the Greek authorities to take the permission to proceed in that procedure. This is only for the women that they are between 50 and 54 years old. This is simple. They need some additional tests. We do the request to the authorities, they give them the permission, and they can proceed normally. And this permission is valid for a year. Another question, for a patient with multiple implantation failure, is not advisable to transfer more than 2 embryo. It depends. It depends for your medical history. Because indeed, there are women that they can have serious gynecological problems and are not permitted to transfer more than 1 embryo, for example. But I repeat, we can transfer up to 2 embryos, max 2 embryos, according to Greek law. Also, how old did you say the donor egg age is? According to Greek law, the donor oocytes, they are up to the age of 35 years old. In our clinic, donor oocytes, they are approximately between 19 and 32 years old. So we're talking about young, healthy women. And many of those women, they have also confirmed pregnancies. This is something that helps to increase the success rate. One last info about your treatment, the recipient's treatment. It's important to know that you perform a light treatment. That helps to prepare the thickness of endometrium. So there are no risks, because many women ask if I follow heavy treatment like stimulation. No, the stimulation is performed by the donor oocytes. You perform a light treatment. Usually we use progesterone pills, estrogen pills. It's a light treatment. If you've got any other questions. I'm waiting because it seems that someone is typing. Mrs. Gemma, hi, I'm 46. What is the typical protocol of medication used for women like me with second, third, and AMH 0.5 PMO? 0.5 PMO is a very low AMH, but it isn't something that's surprising us because it's due to the age. So in that case, we suggest, if you want to have the max success rate, to use donor oocytes. That doesn't mean that you cannot use your own oocytes, but you have to know that using your own oocytes, the success rate is really low. So if you decide to use donor oocytes or also your own oocytes, there are individual protocols. What I mean, for example, it depends. If a woman has a regular period, if a woman is in menopause, it depends from many parameters, because there are many times we use, except progesterone, estrogen, etc., also injections for the repression of the ovaries and the thickness of endometrium. Usually these protocols, we use them if a woman has regular periods. If a woman, for example, is in a menopause phase, probably we change the protocol. Okay, it depends in any case. Have you got a package for embryo donation programs with own eggs? Okay. The egg donation treatment in EmBio Medical Center costs 6,000 euros, one attempt, all included. What I mean, all included? That means that they're included all the expenses of the donor oocytes, medication, preliminary tests, tests during hair stimulation, expenses for the surgeries, anesthesiologist expenses, is included the semen collection of the partner or husband, the ICSI that we referred before, the embryo culture, the fertilization, and the embryo transfer. All included, except your medication that in Greece, their cost is approximately 100, max 200 euro, approximately. And except the preliminary tests and the tests that you will perform in your country. Now, except that cost of 6,000 euro, if it happens and remain embryos adequate to freeze them, the additional cost is 1,000 euro per year from 1 up 3 embryos, and for an additional embryo, approximately 350 euro. And this is important because if you want to use in the future these embryos, the embryo transfer has a cost of 1,500 euro. That means that the cost is lower regarding the 6,000 euro that you're going to pay the first time. And it's normal because in that case, we talk about embryos that they are ready. Okay, we don't have to use new donor oocytes to do egg retrieval again, etc., the whole procedure. Now, with your own eggs, the total cost is 3,500 euro plus 100 euro anesthesiologist expenses. But in that case, probably the medication that you have to use, they are more expensive because we talk about hormonal injections. In Greece, an average of this medication is approximately 1,800 euro, 2,000 euro. They are too expensive. Also, you've got the alternative, if you want, when you start the treatment in our clinic, to order all the medication from Greece. So the pharmacist can send you everything in your country. I'm explaining you that because same medication, for example, in UK, in Italy, etc., they have double cost. Okay, so you've got that alternative to avoid more expenses, because we can understand that for all the couples, it's an expensive procedure. Other questions? Do you use growth hormone when using own eggs? We use hormonal injections that I have explained you before, because you have to do the stimulation. So in that way, we try to produce each woman the max of the oocytes that she can produce. For that reason, she needs hormonal injections. What are your thoughts for a woman age 47 with a high ovarian reserve using own eggs, also implanting one donor egg embryo and own egg embryo? Now, if a woman has a high ovarian reserve using, she can use, of course, her own eggs, but I repeat, the problem is not to receive only a lot of eggs. is to receive eggs of an excellent quality. And this is difficult at that age. This is the biggest problem. I'm so sorry about that. If a woman wants to use her own oocytes, of course she can do that. Okay. In that case, you have to know the difference according to Greek law. When we use our own oocytes, for the women that they are over 40 years old, Greek law permits to transfer up to 4 embryos. If you perform egg donation, is up to 2 embryos. And that shows why it's difficult to conceive with your own oocytes after 40s. For that reason, they permit to transfer up to 4 embryos, because they know that you can transfer 4 embryos with your own oocytes and have again a negative result. On the contrary, when they permit transfer to the egg donation treatment up to 2 embryos, this is because due to the fact that they know that the oocytes they be taken from young women, and this is the big difference, the quality. Do you have your own embryo lab or use IGIA? No, we've got our own embryo lab. That means that you perform everything in our clinic. We've got our own embryologist department. You mustn't do something outside our clinic. You can do, even if you wish that, all the preliminary tests in our clinic, all the treatment in our clinic. And of course, as I told you before, we've got our embryologist department. We've got surgeries for the egg retrieval, for the embryo transfer, etc. If there are any further questions, I'm sorry, I didn't understand if you have frozen embryo for embryo donation. Of course, if you want to use, you've got 2 choices. The first one is to use fresh oocytes with the semen of the donor. These are fresh embryos. In that case, you can choose the characteristics of the donor, etc. And the success rate is a little bit higher. If you want to use already frozen embryos, of course, we've got frozen embryos that they are from a donor oocyte and the donor semen. But in that case, probably you cannot choose the characteristics because they are ready. Okay. So I don't know if it will be possible to choose the characteristics, the physical characteristics of the donors, because we are talking about ready embryos. Have you ever had success with own eggs for perimenopausal women age 46 with own eggs? We have success rate, and usually these women, before that treatment, they can many of them they provide also PRP. Of course, PRP is an initial is yet in an experimental stage. So many women probably they can see some difference, other no. And after PRP, they prefer to proceed to the IVF procedure with their own eggs. But of course, there is a success rate, but it's not high. Okay. And mostly when a woman is in a menopause phase or a perimenopausal phase, it's difficult. How many months after PRP did they do the IVF with own eggs? Usually after 1-2 months, a couple of months. Is it just one session of PRP or 3 sessions over 3 months? One session usually is enough because, you have to proceed step by step. First of all, you have to see if your first PRP has a result. Okay. And according to that result, your gynecologist will inform you if you need to do another PRP or not. But it's not obligatory to be 3 sessions over 3 months. That I mean. How many months after? No, we have answered about that. Take your time. I'm waiting. I can see that someone is typing. In case implantation failure after embryo donation, what will be the next step? Of course, it depends. If, for example, from your first attempt, you have frozen embryos, okay, because, for example, from your first attempt, you can have, for example, 4 embryos. In that case, you can transfer up to 2 embryos, and freeze the other 2 embryos. In that case, if you will have a negative result, you can try again immediately without waiting. And you can do the preparation again for the thickness of the endometrium and transfer the frozen embryos. If you haven't got frozen embryos and you want to retry the whole procedure from the beginning, the new donor oocyte, of course, you can try immediately. It's not like IVF with own oocytes. When we use our own oocytes, usually you have to wait a couple of months to retry. That due to the fact that you are taking hormonal injections and you have already performed the egg retrieval. Instead, regarding egg donation treatment, due to the fact that you perform a light treatment, you don't do the stimulation or egg retrieval, you can try immediately 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It depends how many times you want to provide after every negative results. Okay. Do we stay at your clinic in Greece or a hotel? No, you don't stay in our clinic. You can book an apartment via Airbnb or Booking, or you can stay in a hotel. Generally, just to know, we are located in Halandri, it's called the location. Halandri is distance approximately from downtown centers of 5-6 kilometers. So you've got two alternatives, or you can book a hotel downtown center at the center of Athens, and by taxi is without traffic 10 minutes distance. Okay, it's a distance of 5-6 kilometers. Or you can book an apartment, hotel in our location, Calandri. There are many restaurants, shops, everything you need. Don't worry about that. Generally, the airport is located 35 kilometers from Athens away, 35 kilometers away from Athens. So you cannot stay close to the airport. It won't be convenient for you. And generally, we can, when you will be ready to travel, we can suggest you some hotels near to our clinic. Don't worry about that. And generally in Greece, the majority of the people speak English, etc. You don't have this kind of problems of communication. And another question that usually asked me, at the airport, there metro, taxi, 24 hours per day, buses, whatever you want. Okay, so you can move from the airport to the city. Don't worry about that. So, thank you very much for your participation and your attention. I hope all the above, all that session was useful. For anything you need, you can contact me directly via email. Okay. I will write you my email address just to have it. It's Eleni Vnatsiou at IVF/embryologist.gr. It's a little bit, my surname, a little bit difficult, Vnatsiou. Eleni, just to know, is the Greek, in English is Helen or Elena. If you want to call me Eleni, Elena, Helen, it's the same for me. Okay. Eleni, it's the Greek name. Thank you. Okay. I hope everything was clear and useful for you. Thank you again. And don't hesitate to contact with me if you have further questions, because, okay, now all this info, they are useful, but each patient has his own medical history. So his individual protocol, treatment, etc. Okay. Thank you very much, and have a nice evening. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.